Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're really plunging into something pretty fundamental. What actually separates the truly exceptional from just the average?
Yeah,
Especially in these really intense fields like, say, financial trading.
exactly.
And our insights today, they're coming from excerpts of the Trade Sage podcast, episode 10, The Market Wizard Mindset, which, itself dives right into Jack Schwager's classic book, Market Wizards.
Yeah, and what's so compelling, I think, is how these sources all point to the same kind of core truth. It's less about the specific tactic someone uses.
Right, like it's a secret formula.
Exactly. Forget the secret formula. It's much more about their internal blueprint, their mindset. So our mission today is really to dig into these psychological nuggets, the stuff that really defines top performers, whether they're trading huge sums or just mastering any tough skill, really.
So if you've ever wondered what gives someone that almost unfair edge, then yeah, this deep dive is definitely for you. We're going to rethink what skill even means. Let's get into it. So let's kick things off with this really foundational idea. Our sources are pretty clear. The greatest traders didn't just learn market stuff, the mechanics. They actually conquered their own minds first, which sounds, well, incredibly hard.
It is incredibly hard. And what does that actually look like day to day?
Well, the podcast really emphasizes embracing discomfort, like actually getting okay with uncertainty.
Okay.
And taking just total radical accountability for every single thing. Wins, losses, all of it.
Wow, no excuses.
None. And it also talks about this deep awareness, almost like a clinical awareness of their own emotional triggers and, a real commitment to controlling them. I mean, think about it, right? If your internal world is just chaos.
Yeah, fear, greed.
Fear, greed, hesitation. How can you possibly make clear decisions out there in the market? It's impossible. So the big insight from these wizards is that mental clarity. That's not just a nice bonus. It's your actual biggest edge. It translates directly into discipline, into results. And that's not just for traders, obviously. It applies anywhere there's pressure. That makes a ton of sense. But yeah, it sounds like serious work, like building an inner fortress before you even look at a price chart.
Pretty much.
Which actually leads perfectly into the next point. Because you'd think, wouldn't you, the absolute best, they must have one perfect secret strategy they just stick to rigidly.
Right. That's the common idea.
But the sources say, no, the complete opposite. They all had their own systems, sure, but they were never, ever married to them.
Yeah, it's kind of counterintuitive, isn't it? It really just highlights adaptability. I mean, in any dynamic situation, markets, business, sports, whatever, the only thing you can count on is change, right?
Sure.
So the market wizards, they showed this incredible ability to adapt, to just sometimes ruthlessly drop what wasn't working anymore, and to constantly refine, constantly tweak their approach. Like Bruce Kovner, one of the legends in the book, famously said, I know where I'm getting out before I get in.
Okay. So that's not prediction then? Like knowing the top?
Not at all. That's the key distinction. It's not prediction, which is, let's face it, often impossible. It's planning. Disciplined planning.
Right.
Defining your absolute max loss, your profit target, before the trade even happens.
Right.
You're pre-committing to your risk, so you never get caught flat-footed by some huge move.
That pre-commitment, wow. As that sounds like it takes enormous discipline.
It does.
Which brings us right to the next thing, because, look, all these mindset shifts are great, but they really seem to hang on one absolutely critical principle, something our sources just kept hammering home.
Yeah.
For these guys, risk management wasn't just like a good idea.
No.
It was sacred, like rule number one above all else, survive.
Precisely. It's all about longevity. It's about staying in the game, maintaining control. These wizards, they cut losses fast, almost instinctively, and they never, ever risked more than just a tiny percentage of their capital on any single trade. They were actively avoiding those, catastrophic drawdowns, the ones that can just wipe you out.
Or the account blow up.
Exactly. It wasn't that they weren't afraid of losing money. Sometimes that's part of the business. They were terrified of losing control, losing their stake, because, well, you can't trade tomorrow if you blow up your account today, right?
Simple as that.
It's a huge lesson for any field where you're managing resources. Conserve them so you can keep playing.
Such a stark contrast to how, maybe amateurs think about it. Because amateurs often crave that certainty. They're always looking for the guaranteed winner.
Nice, the sure thing.
But these pros, the sources show they operate totally differently. They think in probabilities.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating there is this deep ingrained understanding that no single trade, no single decision is ever a sure thing. It just isn't.
Right.
These wizards knew, absolutely knew, you could be wrong on one specific call and still make money overall.
Yeah.
As long as you manage that risk meticulously, and this is key, let your edge play out over time.
Okay, the edge. Can you unpack that a bit?
Sure. The edge is just your consistent, statistically validated advantage. Something you've identified that works more often than not. Could be a chart pattern, a timing thing, some kind of market anomaly, whatever it is, you trust it.
Gotcha.
So the insight is a good process, a good system with an edge is way more important than any single good outcome in the short run. That thinking is what separates, emotional gambling from actual strategy-driven execution.
Right.
And that applies to basically any big decision, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Something that genuinely, it really struck me when reading the sources, and it shifted my own thinking a bit, was how these traders reacted to losses. You'd expect frustration, right? Maybe beating themselves up.
Yeah, the usual reaction.
But the books consistently showed something else entirely. They felt, curiosity. They actually studied their losses.
Isn't that something? It really makes you ask, okay, how do you turn a setback into a strength? And the sources tell us they engaged in this deep, almost like forensic reflection. They'd ask themselves, okay, what exactly did I do wrong here? Was it just bad execution on my part, or is there a flaw in the whole strategy? How do I make sure this specific mistake doesn't happen again?
Wow.
So every loss literally became tuition money,
Yeah.
Every mistake was a mentor teaching them something. That mindset turning failure into learning, that's just transformative for growth anywhere.
Totally transformative. And building on that learning, another thing they shared was patience, which feels so underrated, especially when you have to wait for your specific edge, your setup, to appear. Seems counterintuitive when things move fast.
Oh, hugely underrated. And if
Yeah.
we connect this back, it's really about strategic inaction, knowing when not to do something. One wizard famously said something like, I do nothing most of the time. Nothing.
Okay.
But, he said, when the market gives me the setup I love, I hit it hard. So your job isn't trying to predict every little wiggle or chase every shiny object. It's waiting. Patiently waiting for those high probability moments, the sweet spot where your strategy really works best.
Okay.
The lesson's pretty clear there. Often, less is actually way more. It's about the quality of your actions, not just being busy.
That sounds like a good way to conserve mental energy, too, not feeling like you constantly have to be in the market.
Absolutely. Avoids burnout.
And then finally, okay, even through all the inevitable rough patches, the losses, maybe criticism, the sheer chaos sometimes, these market wizards had this incredibly deep, unwavering self-belief.
Yeah, but it's important to clarify, this wasn't arrogance, right? It wasn't ego talking.
Right.
It was this quieter internal conviction. They genuinely believed in their own ability to learn, to adapt, to get better over time. The core belief wasn't, I'm always right. It was more like, with enough work, enough resilience, enough learning from mistakes, and sticking to my discipline, I will eventually win.
That's a powerful distinction.
It is. That deep down faith in your own capacity for growth and ultimately success, that's really the foundation for anyone aiming for mastery in anything challenging.
This whole deep dive into the market wizard mindset, it really drives home that Schwager's book and the ideas in it. They're not just about trading stocks or futures.
Not at all.
It's like a psychological blueprint for achieving mastery in almost any tough field. These aren't just trading tips. They feel like life principles.
Absolutely. I think the key takeaway from all our sources today is crystal clear. Stop just chasing the next hot strategy. Focus on building the mindset from the inside out. And maybe the real challenge for you listening right now isn't just to study whatever field you're in, but to maybe start rigorously journaling your own actions, your own emotional responses, to actually study yourself even more intensely than you study the external situation.
That's a fascinating thought. Study yourself more than the market.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, as these incredible sources reveal again and again, the real edge, well, it's you.